It is Tuesday, October 19th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, seated next to Marvel's newest superhero, Lageman, J.P. Shadrick.
Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. We'll leave that as it is. My name's J.P. Shadrick. We have a program for you today. After Victory Monday, it's Victory Tuesday. It's Victory Week. It's Victory 2 weeks, actually. It's a bye week coming up. Jaguars analyst Jeff Lageman joins us here in just a moment. We'll take a final look at the Jaguars' win over the Dolphins, 23-20. We will preview the bye week for the football team. Not for me, or maybe for me and Logs too. Who knows? The Urban Meyer Show at 5 o'clock. Head coach Urban Meyer joins us on the Jaguars radio network today. Hope you'll stick around for that and see what the head coach has to say. We'll get his final thoughts and see maybe what was going through his mind on those field goals when they were in the air, the last two of them at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last Sunday. Jeff Lageman with us now, Jaguars analyst, and it all just looks, feels, smells, is different after you win a football game.
Well, I think from the standpoint of the team, you get joy. You know, you get to validate why you work so hard, and as Bill Parcells used to say on the great NFL Films moment, he goes, "That's why you lift all them damn weights, and why you sweat, and you do this and you do that." You know, it's to win, because that's why you're paid to play, is to win football games. And very happy for this football team. It helps give you a little bit of validation that your hard work is not all for nothing.
Yeah.
And very proud of the way they got the victory, because I thought that the game could have at any moment in the second half, when you had some bad things happen to where you turn the ball over on downs and you don't kick a field goal. And I mean, it would have been very easy for a team that's lost 20 in a row to kind of say, "Oh, here we go again. We're not going to be able to win." But they didn't do that. And I think the play of the young quarterback was exceptional. I think that's the story of the game, by far.
There were so many close moments. The Jamal Agnew, did he touch it or not on the punt return? That could have really sealed the game.
I think he touched it. What do you think?
I thought at first glance that he touched it. How does the ring finger go backward on its own?
Yeah.
That's an odd movement. I don't know. But that kind of thing. And then, like you said, the 4th and 1 going for it. Didn't get the push, and couldn't get the first down. They drive down and score, and then Jags rally back. They hit the strangest 54-yard field goal you'll see, that twisted and turned and somehow found the bottom right corner.
It was guided, JP.
It was incredible.
Guided.
It was something else. And then
it might have been something else guided. I don't know.
We'll take it. And then the 4th and 1 stop. Josh Allen was there first to make the play, and then another field goal and the slider play. All that happened in the third or fourth quarter.
A slider play that really should be called the Pete Rose play, because it really wasn't a slider. I mean, they didn't slide like you're supposed to.
Right.
I mean, really, at some point, the whole concept of the slider play is to give a minimum gain, because you're not going to be able to gain a lot of yards. It's not like you're looking to gain 20. You're looking to gain a quick little chunk of yards, and then the receiver goes down. When I say goes down, feet first, that's the slide. Like the old baseball feet first slide.
Like a quarterback giving himself up. Yeah.
The reason why you want to go feet first is because it's giving yourself up. So now the team can use a timeout. When you go head first, that's the play, you're still kind of alive.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins make a huge mistake, and we're watching it now on our monitor. You can see that the safety, Brandon Jones, touches Laviska down. And Urban, who did a great job of communicating with the official on the sideline, saying, "Hey, look, once we get down, we want a timeout immediately." And you can see that the official that he's standing right next to, as soon as Laviska's touched, the hands are waving in the air to stop the game clock. And I don't know how many times that I watched that play on film going 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. And it was 4 seconds. It wasn't like it was
right. They
4.
got it right.
It might have been a little less than 4. They got it perfect.
I mean, he said, and Darrell Bevell spoke with the media today, and said the parameters were really stretched on that play. They normally don't need 8 yards; they need about 5 or 6, and they usually need about 6 seconds instead of 5. And they were kind of rolling the dice. But the worst that happens there, okay, maybe the clock runs out and you go to overtime, right? It's not like you're going to lose the game in that scenario.
Right. Well, they were going to run the Hail Mary before that.
That's right.
And then they had a conversation and said, well, hey, let's try the slider play. And it worked. I mean, and give the Jaguars credit. The Dolphins were playing, and we're going to actually look at this in the football lab on Jags Wired this week on Wednesday night on Fox 30. The way that they defensed it, they had 2 guys all the way back at the goal line, and then they had everybody else was underneath, but they were playing man, which is kind of surprising. And then they had everybody playing outside leverage for their men. Laviska, the safety that was in the middle, he was essentially just kind of a free player. And which is Jones, the guy that touched Laviska down. He really didn't have any responsibility because you had a defensive back over on the outside of Laviska. So they're playing for maybe a quick out route, which you could throw and then receiver goes out. Mm-hmm. Because if a player's tackled in the middle of the field or whatever, then it could end up delaying the possibility. So Brian Flores, I thought, played it smartly, thinking that they're going to go to the perimeter to get the clock stopped. And the Jaguars, I think, got very fortunate that Jones touches Laviska, and because a lot of things got to go right on that play. And credit to the quarterback, he got rid of the ball quick and made it happen, because a lot of quarterbacks would be like, unsure, and he was just, bam, there it is.
It sounded like they've done it a lot in practice over the weeks, just trying plays similar to that, situations like that, and it comes up in a game, and they finally got to go through with it. Everybody's excited for the win, and rightly so. I think I'm most excited about it because you're not flirting with history anymore. The losing skid is over, 20 games. I know these guys have been working their tails off and all that. We'll hear from Coach Meyer coming up in just a little bit about all of that. But, it was – in the NFL, you're here to win football games. And when you do it almost at a record – streak, it's not good for any part of the organization. Certainly not the football
a record
side.
streak to the opposite of what the objective is.
That's right, and that puts everything in your whole organization at risk. That's a problem. I mean, it permeates through the entire from the football side. I think through the business, ticketing side, sponsorship, all these people that are supporting the football side of things. It's over now. I think that's the most important thing, and you can focus on the next week ahead, refresh a little bit. Okay, Jags have won a game. They're trying to get better. They have some things to work on, but that's for me at least, the best feeling of all.
Well, the streak is over, but the quest to be a consistent winner is not.
That's true.
That's right. This team's got a long way to go before it gets to that. But I think I'm going to go back to this and say this again. In order to do that, you have to have a quarterback. And I think that game right there was an exceptional game by a young quarterback. I'm talking exceptional. And I think there were many moments in that ball game that those around him weren't playing to his level. In other words, they need to play better for this team to be better. Numerous instances. How many drops did we have in the ball game?
Oh, yeah, a few, yeah.
Okay, some of those drops were just flat-out drops. There was also some balls that got batted down because the receivers aren't coming back to the ball. I mean, that's the one thing I think that young players, and you got to coach them up, young players in the league don't understand, is that in college, quarterback throws the ball and it's on its way, and then the receiver will just kind of sit there and wait. No, you can't do that in the NFL. You got to come back to the ball, because they talk about how windows are so much smaller in the National Football League. They're smaller because the defensive backs and everybody's faster. So you have to be able to adjust, and I think the wide receivers need to do a much better job of coming back to the ball. Dan Arnold had one, didn't come back to the ball on a scramble by Trevor Lawrence out of the pocket. Well, Trevor was making, what do they call that? It's making chicken soup out of chicken something else.
Chicken salad out of you know what.
Yeah, he was making something good out of the play, and Arnold sits down and he's waiting for the ball like 15, 18 yards, and he's just sitting there. Well, that gives the defensive back time to come back and react. I mean, you got to come back, and if you come back and get it, you got a great play. And that's my point about how there's some people around Trevor that need to start elevating their level of play because he's making it possible for them to do so.
It was a good start, though, to get that victory, and, we can go through it all kinds of ways, and we will over the next 50 minutes or so here on Jaguars Happy Hour. Let's continue on offense, though, and the run game continued to be a strong point for this Jags team. James Robinson put together a solid day of work. Most of his time carrying the football was in the second half of last week's game. He had a touchdown early, a 1-yard score. There he is with that 4.3 average again. He's now 6th in the league in rushing yardage. And if you look at the first 6, 3 of them are in the AFC South, by the way, the 3 of the 6 rushing leaders. But look at the amount of carries that Derrick Henry has to lead the way in the NFL so far. He's got 162 carries. 783 yards, right? It's still a great average, 4.8.
And what is it, Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis? How many carries does he have?
Taylor's got 87 for 472.
Okay.
James Robinson's got 84 for 460. Henry's got twice as many carries as these guys. I mean, it's pretty remarkable what he's doing. Different level, different offense, different things.
JP,
when James gets the ball, he's still effective on average as much, at least, as Henry.
Well, first and foremost, Derrick Henry is otherworldly. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. I mean, some of the things that he's doing, he's doing it year in and year out, and he's basically carrying that Tennessee football team on his back.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, he is. He's carrying them on his back. And he got a new contract. But is he still underpaid? Oh, yeah.
Make the argument.
Yeah, he's still underpaid. James Robinson's definitely underpaid. I mean, he's still on an undrafted rookie deal, probably making somewhere around minimum. And as good as he is, at some point he's going to make a lot more money because he's a really good back. And what I love about him is that he's so smart. He's got great vision. He's efficient with his footwork. How many times did we see him? Because the Miami Dolphins were coming up now to stop him now.
Sure.
They were
Why wouldn't you?
They were aggressive. Really aggressive in their defense. Put a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage to stop him, also to try to pressure Trevor Lawrence. And James Robinson was able to power through a lot of guys that had him tackled for no gain or minus yardage. And I'm talking like carrying guys for a gain of 3.5 when he should have been most backs that are average in this league would have been tackled for a no gain or a 1-yard gain, and he's gaining 3 and 4 yards. That's how good he is. So I love him. I think that the more that this offense continues to work with Trevor Lawrence and these receivers and more efficient they get, the better they get at third down, because that's not a very good area for them right now.
They were bad on Sunday.
The better they get in that area, the more carries that James Robinson will see, and the ability of an offensive line to kind of take control of a game will be able to occur because you're keeping the chains moving and stacking some plays together.
When we return, we'll flip it around to the defensive side, Logs, and get your take on what the Jags defense had to offer Sunday.
Well, they got a lot of work to do, JP.
Well, we've got a lot of show left.
They got a lot of work to do on that side of the ball, and I'm going to just give you a little snapshot here. I don't think all of it can be done this year. I mean, they're going to have to fight and cratch and claw.
Cratch and slaw? Is that a side order?
I was thinking coleslaw.
You must have dinner on the mind. We'll take a time out and come back. Defensive talk, cratch and slaw. When we come back, it's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Hard Rock Sportsbook Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle. And by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
We all want to look and feel our best, so why not take the next step with a consultation with Dr. Patrick Basil, board-certified plastic surgeon. Offering a variety of wellness, skincare, and aesthetic treatment options, you can look better, feel more confident, and transform into your best self. They offer the most advanced, innovative treatments in a modern, patient-centered environment. Learn more at transformjax.com. That's transformjax.com or call 904-222-6262. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
So, it's happy hour. Let's talk whiskey options. Have you tried Citrus Distillers? Have you tried Citrus Distillers Limited Edition 2021 Barrel-Aged Jaguar Whiskey? Did you know it's only available for a limited time and manufactured in Jacksonville? Yes, Jacksonville. I said local whiskey. Try it on the rocks or in a Jack's Whiskey Sour. Citrus Distillers Jaguars Whiskey is available at local liquor stores, restaurants, and the Jaguar Stadium. Drink local, Jacksonville. Find recipes and events at jaguarswhiskey.com.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on this Tuesday afternoon. It's the bye week. Coming off a Jaguars win. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody wouldn't be a bad week for a concert, right, at Daly's Place. The schedule is starting to cool down a bit for the fall. These are the final three shows scheduled. October 23rd, Little Big Town. It's coming up in a few days. Kane Brown, 2 nights, November 12th and 13th. Tickets at dailysplace.com. Well, the weather's perfect for that kind of thing right now.
Oh, it's beautiful. Weather.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, it could be a touch cooler, but, I mean, it seems like I'm very happy to see that we're out of the heat of summer. We have now approached fall weather.
I think autumn is officially here, right? Didn't that happen just a week or two ago on the calendar? I don't know how that works.
I don't know the exact date,
but
I think we are.
I think it's here now.
Yeah.
Which
at least our version of it in Florida.
Yeah, whatever that is, yes.
Yeah.
This is what it is, basically.
Victory Tuesday.
Yeah, all day today.
Makes the weather feel better.
The weather's better. Everything's
it could be 95 degrees.
And the slaw tastes incredible. I mean, it's incredible.
Could be a 95-degree day, 100% humidity, and it'd be feeling really
perfect.
Good. Yeah.
What a perfect weather day. Defense. Well, the rush seemed to get closer to Tua. They didn't hit him, but only 3 times. They didn't sack him, but they affected him some. But there was just guys running wide open in the secondary, so he could get it out and have a lot of success.
And he really wasn't that good. Tua wasn't. I mean, really. I mean, he wasn't that good, and they racked up 431 yards. I mean, think of what what that number could have been if Tua ends up making some throws, like the one that he's rolling out of the pocket to his left, and he can gain 15 yards and move the sticks on a third down, and he tries to throw it to, I don't know who he's throwing it to. Do you?
Nope.
I still haven't figured it out. He had two guys, and the ball doesn't even land within like 6 yards of either guy. I was like, after that game, I was like, man, I am glad that that's not our quarterback. So, but they got a lot of work to do as a defense. I mean, they've got to, and they're pretty good against the run, but this is a passing league now.
Oh yeah.
And to have a chance, you have to stop the run. If you don't stop the run, then you definitely don't have a chance in a passing league, because it makes the opponent to have the ability to be multidimensional, and it opens up play action, which is a big part of your chunk plays given up. But the Jaguars defense they're giving up some chunk plays without play action. I mean, just
tight ends.
Well, the tight ends, and when you've had some mental errors in the past, communication. You can call it communication, you can call it MEs, mental errors, whatever you want to call it. But the breakdowns, you try to clean them up as much as possible. And you're always going to have some mental errors in a game. You're just, that there's always a goal or an objective to have a minimal amount. And each coach will have like the winning formula: points given up, mental errors allowed per game, yards rushing allowed per game. They have all these different categories to see if you can, or to give you an idea of what you need to do to have success.
Mm-hmm.
And right now the defense is just, they're doing an okay job against the run. Teams are able to put a total number of rushing yards up that's probably not where you want to be, just because of the number of plays they're able to put together, because the third down percentage that they're converting at is higher, and also the passing numbers that an opponent is having is making it difficult on the Jaguars defense. And the intermediate route with the tight ends was a problem in this game, and people all say, well, whose fault is that? And it just depends on the coverage. I mean, when you're playing a zone coverage, which that's what the Jaguars are playing more of now than they are playing man, it could be a middle linebacker. It could be an outside linebacker. It could be a safety. It could be a corner. It just depends on the coverage. And they were rolling a lot of guys in at linebacker. Miles Jack is out, and Damian Wilson's out there. Shaq Quarterman was out there.
Dakota Allen's running around.
Yeah, and you had one instance that the one thing that Miami likes to run with Tua is a lot of that read option look, where he sticks it in the belly of a running back and then pulls it out. And the whole reason teams love to run this RPO kind of look is because when the quarterback sticks the ball into the stomach of a running back's belly, the linebackers have to honor that. So they either have to stay put or come up. If they start forward, now all of a sudden you've got somebody leaking in behind them on a pass route, and that's where the quarterback is trying to throw it. So the whole reason for sticking the ball in the running back's stomach is to pull the linebackers up, to give more space between the linebackers and the safeties, or the linebackers and the corners, or nickel, or whoever is out there.
And obviously if they don't come up or they stay back or move back, just hand it off and let the running back run.
So, yeah, and that's, it's a, what do they say, a double-edged sword kind of, and that, the great linebackers, though, they know it. They feel it. They read it based on what's happening with the big picture. They look at the offensive lineman. They look at the quarterback, his action. Some quarterbacks cannot look the same when they hand it off versus when they pull it out to pass.
Basically tipping their pitches, if you will, like in baseball.
That's where you got to study. And what we call some coaches, some teams, some quarterbacks have just like baseball. What do they call it? A tell. Mm-hmm. There's a tell. In other words, there's a clue to give you an idea of what it's going to be or not going to be. So that's got to be cleaned up, though. But right now, they have some issues to work on. The secondary, you got some guys playing it. You probably didn't envision having to play with it when the season started.
No, because one of those guys is now in Carolina, and we can go through that all day. But yeah, I mean, Nevin Lawson wasn't on the team. He's only been on for a few weeks, but it was his first career interception. It's his 8th year, almost a journeyman.
Congratulations to him on the interception.
Yeah,
but that was a gift.
Yeah,
that was another moment where Tua throws the ball and you go,
"What world was that?
What are you doing?"
What did Joe Collins say today? When he threw it, he's like, God, I hope we catch that. Please catch it. And he did.
There was
great.
Dolphin fans on that play, and then the play where Tua doesn't run it.
Yeah.
That were screaming some expletives now.
I would say.
I guarantee you that.
Josh Allen last week, 2 weeks ago now, had 7 tackles, had a half sack, 2 quarterback hits, had a pass defense. This week in London, he had 7 more tackles, a quarterback hit, a pass defense, but he was in on that big 4th down and 1 stop in the fourth quarter to set up the Jaguars' final drive to ultimately get the game-winning field goal. He cut inside that, I guess that was the tight end that was blocking him, and got in there and made the first hit behind the line.
Yeah, because you don't have the slider play, the London slider play, if you don't have Josh making a play on that 4th down, and Smoot and Damian Wilson. I mean, all those guys combined, but, I mean, you got to have a group effort, and it really started with the penetrator by Josh Allen into the backfield, and he beat the block of the tight end. I got his name here, Dejuam Smoot.
Yep.
And excellent play by him. And I thought he played really well overall. I wish he would have gotten that sack on Miami's first drive where he had Tua, and that's, you got to make that play. If you're going to be a big-time player, you make that play, because that takes the Miami Dolphins out of that drive completely. And he wasn't able to make it. But I thought I thought Smoot played well, and I thought Josh Allen played well. And Smoot is, I think the one thing that I always appreciate about Smoot is that he's so consistent with his effort and his performance week in and week out. Is he a great player? No. Is he a good player? Yes. Plays hard? Yes, every week. Gives you everything he got? Absolutely. He checked a lot of great boxes that you want to have, and you just got to find some other dogs. I mean, some guys that can get after the quarterback, and right now they don't have enough of them.
Well, next 2 weeks from now, the Seattle Seahawks most likely will be without Russell Wilson. Then the Buffalo Bills come to town. So there's this schedule coming up. They've got some offenses they're going to face that have some pieces, some weapons that they better strap in, hang on, get some guys healthy, and get Miles Jack back. Tyson Campbell, get him out another week.
This is. I'm going to say this, and I hope people don't get upset. I mean, this season is are you going to be able to fix all that this year? I mean, JP, even if you get all those things back, what you're talking about.
Yeah, a couple guys nicked up, right.
I mean, does it change it that much? I mean, look, you want everybody to continue to get better. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But this is a thing that it will take an offseason to address, whether you address it in free agency or you address it through the draft. This takes time. But this year, in my opinion, it's not about wins and losses. I mean, this season is about the quarterback and his development. So as much as I want to see this team win, at the end of the year, this is about how far did the quarterback go as far as his advancement in the national, at this level in the league. Because as long as he continues on that trajectory, then this franchise is going to be totally fine for many years, and they can address everything else kind of as it kind of rolls along. But if you don't have an answer to that first question, and that's the quarterback, you've got no chance. And right now, I can tell you that game just, I don't want to say it's cemented, but it just gave you further evidence that this guy is the real deal and he is something special. I mean, something special.
When we come back, we will get into the kickers. Well, kicker now. There's only one on the roster after today's transaction. The official Jaguars podcast network is rolling along, of course. It's a free subscription on Apple iTunes or Spotify. Give us that 5-star rating as always. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Hard Rock Sportsbook Digital Network.
Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Hard Rock Sportsbook is coming to Florida. Join the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Hard Rock for safe, trusted, and completely legal sports betting. Go to hardrocksportsbook.com to get all the latest details leading up to launch. Play remotely from anywhere in Florida, including on your phone or computer or in person at Seminole Casinos. Want great promotions like free bets, odds boosts, and bonuses? Hard Rock Sportsbook will have all your favorite bets and promotions. Hard Rock Sportsbook, the best place to be a Jaguars fan. Coming soon. Must be at least 21 and physically present in Florida to wager. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-800-522-4700. The Land Rover Defender story began with the simple thought of creating an exceptionally capable off-road vehicle, becoming the go-anywhere, do-anything all-terrain machine. Today, there's a new Land Rover Defender, the toughest and most advanced Land Rover vehicle ever. From the beginning, Land Rover knew the new Defender was capable of great things. Motor Trend's 2021 SUV of the Year is just the latest example. Test drive the new Land Rover Defender today at Land Rover Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard, or go to LandRoverJacksonville.com. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field in Valley Park it for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent sponsored by Alert Today Florida near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars Game Day broadcasts are presented by ViStar Credit Union, and welcome back to Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. We'll get to the kicking game coming up, but just a few moments ago, Adam Schefter of ESPN putting out a tweet. This was, not even 10 minutes ago now. Says this: file this under Dad of the Year nominee. Jaguars starting defensive lineman Dejuam Smoot unexpectedly delivered his newborn daughter, Alani Moon Smoot, this morning at 4 a.m. at their home in Jacksonville. And then puts a photo with more details to it. They were heading out the door to the hospital. She fell to her knees, and he had to catch his wife and then deliver the baby in his living room. The paramedics talked him through tying the umbilical cord over the phone. All three are doing well, mother, daughter, and Dejuam, of course. He might have a heart attack, but other than that, he's doing fine. And the full team was informed about all of it today during the meeting, but congratulations to Dejuam Smoot and family, and
way to go.
Did it all at the house.
And way to go, man. Yeah, he's coachable. I like it.
I'd say so. How about that? What a day. What a bye week ahead.
Two weeks, two players that have newborns.
Logan
and Mary Cook had their baby last week.
That's an incredible story, though.
That is cool, man.
Just talked him through it. Yes, Joe Fortunato has.
Wait a minute. What about mom with no chemical enhancement? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, there you go.
I mean that's yeah. Can you imagine? Come on, let's go to the hospital.
We ain't
down to
getting
one
there.
knee. Like,
Yep. Better make a phone call real quick. But congratulations to the Smoot family. Let's move along to.
And on top of that, JP, I mean, he just got back from London.
Yeah, I know. How about the timing of that?
Yeah. Whew.
That's pretty incredible. Yeah, right? Yeah. Glad they flew quickly getting back home. Kicking game. Matthew Wright. This guy a month ago was a software engineer, and
I thought he was in high school still.
Lockheed Martin. He got a job right after college. They gave him a job. They said, "Hey, we want to, see you still have your goal of being an NFL kicker, but you have basically a cubicle, for lack of a better term, here when you want it." So he's been working on and off. He kicked for the Steelers last year, and then was drafted in the XFL before that. Didn't work out, whatever. So here he comes again, and all of a sudden, a month ago, he's working for Lockheed Martin. Now he's kicking field goals, and not just field goals. I mean, bombs, 54 and 53 yards. I would say that's probably the edge of his range. Let's say it nicely that way. But they went in. They were spectacular kicks, and now Matthew Wright is the kicker. Josh Lambo released today after a number of years with the team.
Thank goodness the first kick in the game was a 40-yarder. Early, just to kind of get that first one out of the way. You're not worrying about, okay, can we make a kick this year? Because what is it, like the only team in the Super Bowl era to ever go that many games without having made a field goal kick or something like that?
Even earlier than that, since 1962, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and so it was good that early in the game on the first drive that you had a manageable 40-yard field goal to get the confidence up. And but kudos to him, because we didn't think, we're in the broadcast, we're sitting there thinking that his range is 52, because the previous week he bounces one off the crossbar at 53.
That's right.
So we're like, 51, 52, and then all of a sudden he's lining up for a 54 to tie it, and you're going,
oh no,
I don't know about that.
And then he hit it. It was like, oh, see, we were right. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's coming back left. It's good. Unbelievable.
They have the old bend it like Beckham thing.
Yeah.
Bend it like Matthew Wright. He bent that thing like nobody's business. I mean, that was I don't know how many – I would love it. You know how they do these sports science things?
How in the heck did that happen? Right.
I would like to know – literally the amount of feet outside the pipe or outside the hash, because the pipe runs right at the outside of the hash.
I mean, it's got to be 2 yards outside the upright.
Oh, I think it's at least that.
That's 6 feet.
I think it's at least that.
Wow.
But I mean, you know how they do that?
Yeah.
On ESPN and all that stuff.
Somehow the way it was knuckling, it just kind of went back and curved left.
And here's the other thing.
I don't think there was wind in the stadium.
And I'd love to know this. Maybe we can get Josh Scobee or somebody in here that could.
That's just what we need. More Scobee.
What's wrong with Scobee?
Great.
Are you down on Scobee?
I'm not down on Scobee at all. No, I'm kidding. I love Scobee. He's great. We've had a lot of Scobee. It's a good thing.
Well, the reason I would
I'm
like
kidding, of course, yes.
Doesn't sound like
it's
it.
A joke.
Sounds like you got a personal rub against Josh Scobee. Let me call Josh.
Now,
and find out what's
Osher
going
has
on.
a personal scrub against Scobee. I'll let him tell the story. I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll just have to find that story out later on. But I mean, I just don't understand why you guys are down on Josh Scobee.
I'm not at all. He's the best kicker the Jaguars have ever had.
Well, you could say that Josh Lambo was.
No.
Why not?
Scobee was longer. Did it for a longer period of
time.
Right?
Yeah. But accuracy-wise?
Oh, okay, sure.
Right? But anyway, I would love to talk to a kicker, because like when you throw a baseball, the spin of the ball creates the movement, right?
Seams, yes.
Oh, the seams and the spin.
Yeah, the spin and the
like
seams
you can,
against
if
the
you
wind.
if you had a ball, JP, that didn't have seams, it can still you can still throw a curveball. Trust me. I throw a wicked curve with them little plastic balls that you have the plastic bats with.
That's a wiffle ball and bat, and they have holes in them designed to curve.
No. The ones that I throw, they don't have the. It's not a wiffle ball. It's
okay.
It's
Physics
different. Okay?
Physics 101 with
I'm
lots.
just saying
I
is that how do you get a football that is oblong, and when you're kicking it, it's end over end? How do you get the spin to make that thing? Because when it leaves his leg, it goes left, and then it goes right outside, and then it comes back in. It literally went like that. How do you do that? How does that happen?
Can we get Stephen Hawking on the phone or something? I have no idea who to call for this.
I would love to know the physics and how do you do that?
Yeah.
Can we get Scobee on the phone? I don't care if JP doesn't like him. I'd like to get Scobee on the phone.
We might have to do that at some point. Let's come back, though, in a moment. We'll get to the Baptist Health injury report, which is, we got some time to work on some guys this week. Get them back, get them healthy.
I'm not working on them.
Well, we, as an organization, is what I mean.
The sports, what is it called?
Sports performance.
The sports performance.
What are you talking about? Rejuvenation.
I just wanted to make sure.
We're dry needling.
There's a new term now.
What?
Rejuve.
Rejuve?
I heard Urban use that. We're going to get some guys in the Rejuve and then get them going. I like that.
That makes sense. This is a good week for that.
I like it.
Got to get it back. 11 games left to go after this week.
You get a couple days at the spa to get ready to rock and roll for the rest of the year. I'm just kidding about the spa.
If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Hard Rock Sportsbook Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Hey Jaguars fans, it's always game on with Dunkin's $2 medium hot or iced coffee Tuesdays for rewards members. The NFL season is more than just what happens on game day. That's why Dunkin' wants to get you through the game week too. During football season, the best call is always Dunkin'. Whether it's the morning after a late night game or getting hyped for the week to come, pick up a cup of your favorite coffee and tackle the day with Dunkin'. Join today and order ahead of the Dunkin' app. Jacksonville Jaguars run on Dunkin'. Exclusions apply. Participation may vary. Limit 1 per week.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinder specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on this Tuesday afternoon. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Joe Fortunato on the audio today, Brent Reber on the video side. Glad you're along with us. We're recapping the Jaguars' win over the Miami Dolphins, 23-20, the final score. Well, in the last segment, we're talking kicking and the field goals from Matthew Wright and the bending field goal, 54-yarder, and how in the world could that happen? Well, you said, hey, maybe let's call Josh Scobee. Well, Josh Scobee was listening, and he called us. Josh Scobee is on the line with us now, one of the greats in Jaguars history. Good afternoon to you, Josh. What's up?
Fellas, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate
doing
it.
great. I appreciate you calling in. I mean, I was very surprised that JP said that he would rather you not call in. And
I didn't say that. I just said we've had a lot of Scobee over the years.
Scobee, what is going on between you and JP? Why is he so down on you?
I guess the one season that JP and I did the show together, that was a little bit too much Scobee for him. So I understand.
It's a full glass, glass of Scobee. No, it's okay, man. We're glad to have you. Thank you for coming on. So let's start with it. You're watching the game, I'm sure, right? You're up in the morning watching the game, and all of a sudden Matthew Wright comes in. A month ago, he's a software analyst. Now he's kicking game winners in London. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's impressive to come in, especially given the fact that he and Lambeau were competing that week and then hit, 3 really good field goals, and especially the last 2. I mean, it's impressive for someone that doesn't have very many kicks in the NFL under their resume.
All right, so I got to know, like when you watch baseball, we were talking about this. I'm sure you heard it. When you throw a curveball and slider and sinker, and you got the, as JP said, the seams to help the ball spin. When you kick a football, it's oblong, so there's really no spin. So why does the ball move left or right? How in the world did that ball leave his leg, go a little left, way out to the right, and then come back inside the pipe?
Yeah, I mean, typically whenever it does start out to the left like that and then go to the right and come back, it's because you've kind of mishit the ball a bit. And typically whenever I did it, I was impacting the ball like more towards my heel. So if you catch it anywhere near your heel, it's going to put like a funky little spin on it. But yes, it is possible to curve the ball. And most right-footed kickers are going to have some type of right-to-left curve to it. And that I did notice that about Matthew Wright. Even the 53-yard game winner had a little bit of curve to it, maybe 4 or 5 feet or so. But that's pretty typical. Most of the time, you're going to get someone left-footed. They're going to be left to right. Right-footed, it's right to left. So I mean, that wasn't surprising for me to see the last one. But the 54-yarder definitely had a lot more action on it than the 53.
So does it do that because where you make contact on the ball, even though the ball is spinning end over end, that the ball is also spinning on its axis?
Correct. So if you mishit it, the ball is going to redirect one direction, however you hit it. And as a kicker, you're coming in from the inside because you're going in on a 45-degree angle. You're impacting the ball on the inside. So it has to have some type of curve to it unless your foot has opened up right when you impact the ball. And there's only a handful of kickers that I've ever seen that hit a dead straight ball every time, and that's pretty rare.
Have you ever seen a kicker, right-footed, be able to curve the ball from left to right?
Only one person in the history of me watching any kicker kick have I seen one person do that, and that's Justin Tucker.
Really?
And it blew my mind the first time I saw it, so I kind of paid attention. And every time I've watched him on TV now, I'll see that it'll start out to the left a little bit and just kind of fade over to the right. And that means that he's probably impacting the ball more towards his heel than you would towards your toe.
This is outstanding stuff. Josh Scobee with us on the phone. Live radio at its best today here on Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, and the former Jaguars kicker. Speaking of fades and draws, I read the other day you had an albatross at Sawgrass. Is that accurate?
I did. It was.
What is that? I'm a non-golfer now.
A two on a par 5.
A 2?
Yeah, so I made my second shot on the 9th hole. There's 244 yards out. It was in a charity golf tournament out there last Monday. So that was first one of my golfing career, and it was a pretty good time. And we only won by one shot, so apparently we needed that.
Well, you'll take it, that's for sure. When was the last time you kicked a football, Josh?
A few weeks ago, I kicked with Lauren Brooks from 1010XL,
okay.
Doing the show that she does. We went out to her high school at Bishop Kenny, and I kicked 2 balls, and I was sore for 2 days after.
It's not like riding a bike then, apparently. Okay. You gotta
Definitely
get back
not,
no. Well, hey, thanks for the insight, man. It's great to talk to you.
I've always wondered that about, because you see
cool.
the action like tennis players, when they hit the ball, and baseball pitchers. And by the way, the wiffle ball that I'm talking about, have you guys never seen this thing? It's called blitz ball.
No.
Oh, I know what it is, yeah.
Okay, see, Josh knows. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that because JP doesn't know anything.
I play baseball, so I get it.
You've never played blitz ball?
I've played wiffle ball.
You could throw some junk with the blitz ball now.
That's great, Logs. Thank you for that. We appreciate it, Josh. Great to talk to you, man, and thanks for the time today and the insight.
All right, guys. Take care.
Josh Scobee, out of here, calling us. Yeah.
That's pretty cool that the only kicker he's ever seen that can kick it right-footed and actually have it go from left to right is Justin Tucker.
That's pretty good.
I never thought about the fade or the draw, whatever you want to call it. And I've never thought to look to see if a right-footed kicker could fade it.
I mean, that's pretty specialized. Now, I mean, you got depending on the conditions and all that going on with it too. So there's a lot that goes
I can see right now that we need to get.
So think about what he just said. He mishit it a little bit.
Yeah,
that's why it double corrected back.
Yeah,
and he still got it 54 yards. Got it 55 to get it over 54.
Well, I think
crazy.
when a mishit, I think could probably be a lot of different things. Did you hit it maybe too much into the middle of the ball, different part of your foot?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's probably a lot of different ways you mishit it.
Joe Fortunato, hello.
I really should have asked Josh this, but is the phrase double eagle gone? Does nobody use that anymore?
I think it's there, but the albatross is kind of the new term for that. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
That's pretty
what
good.
What hole did he say that was?
On 9. On the 9th hole.
Cool.
That means he's playing way too much golf.
Well, that's a good thing. It's what happens when you retire,
you know? That's a good thing.
That's what he does. Great to have Josh Scobee.
We need to get a blitz ball little tournament with all of us one day.
You know what? That's a great idea. It's a good week for it, bye week. But it is deer season, so you might be out.
That's true.
Veterans, choose VA for the benefits you've earned. Visit choose.va.gov. Let's get now to the Baptist Health Injury Report. Changing healthcare for good, and take a look at some of the names Urban Meyer talked about earlier this week. Ben Bartsch with a concussion, Tyson Campbell with a toe issue, Miles Jack with a back injury. He expects those 3 to be back and available next week when practice begins. He said that on Monday. There are officially 6 players on injured reserve right now for the Jaguars. Of course, DJ Chark with a fractured leg, Brandon Linder with a knee and ankle issue, A.J. Cann with a knee issue, James O'Shaughnessy still on there, Travis Etienne, of course, and Terry Godwin. But, we'll see what happens with the first 3 of that list, Chark, Linder, Cann, especially over the weeks ahead. Chark might be a little bit, Linder, you just don't know. So there you have it. That's the Baptist Health Injury Report. Changing healthcare for good.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get, I will say, look, I think this team has been pretty fortunate overall. I mean, if you look at the guys that are on that injury report, if you could have one guy back, look, can we put that list back up again?
Yeah.
If you could have one guy back out of all of that list.
On the injured reserve stuff.
on the injured reserve. Okay.
Who would
you take back?
I would take either. I mean, honestly, I'd take either Chark or Etienne, playmaker, speed guy.
I would take.
Who'd you take?
I mean, you wouldn't take Linder?
Well, you got Shatley. He played well.
Okay.
I mean,
it's an interesting question,
right?
But I mean, as far as explosive playmakers, I'm taking Etienne.
Oh yeah, okay.
Off of that. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was saying. We haven't seen Etienne, but that was the idea. He was going to be that guy.
For me, I mean, the top three guys I think would be Linder, Chark, and Etienne. And you sit there and you go, to give a young quarterback easy completions and a guy that literally can be a home run threat every time he touches the ball, Travis Etienne would be one of those guys. And then you say, well, you know what, to make the young quarterback comfortable, I want to have my veteran center. And then you say, okay, well, I want to see a vertical element to this offense because we haven't seen a lot of that. Maybe it would be DJ Chark.
Mm-hmm.
But, I would probably take Etienne.
Let's take a look at the AFC South standings. As you might expect, well, Tennessee has kind of pulled away. They got a big win last night, of course. They are ahead of Indianapolis. Tennessee now 4-2. Indy 2-4. Houston 1-5. Jaguars 1-5. Houston has the tiebreaker with the win over the Jaguars back in week number 1. The results of week 6 in the AFC South. Of course, we know the Jaguars got their first victory and snapped a 20-game losing skid with a win over the Miami Dolphins. The Colts blasted the Texans 31-3. Jonathan Taylor had a big day, 145 yards. A lot of that on a big run. 2 touchdown carries in the game. And then Darius Leonard was very active on the defensive side, the linebacker. 7 tackles, a quarterback hit, an interception, and a forced fumble. That's a good day at the office. And then
he's a really good football player,
He
by the
is
way.
a very good player at linebacker there at Indy. And then last night, a fantastic football game. The Titans and the Bills. Tennessee wins it 34-31. The Bills try to sneak it on 4th down, but Josh Allen slipped and fell down short, and the game was over. Derrick Henry did not slip much in the game. 143 yards, including a 76-yard touchdown and 2 other scores in the game for Henry, the league's leading rusher. So the Titans are in command of the South.
Derrick Henry's awesome. I mean, literally, when they say, when Terrell Owens had that statement years ago, he said, get your popcorn ready.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that's worth the price of admission to watch. And there's not many running backs in the league that I would say that about. I mean, really, I wouldn't. But I think he is absolutely worth the cost of a ticket to watch him. That's how good he is. You know, it's a quarterback league now, and I get that. I mean, here's a guy that's carrying a team on his back in a quarterback league.
If they keep winning games, he's got to be in the MVP conversation.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You know? I mean,
absolutely.
He is what he's doing and the numbers he's putting up.
If he ends up surpassing, which he's well on his way to doing, if he stays healthy and he surpasses 2,000 yards rushing, he will be the only player in NFL history to surpass 2,000 yards rushing in back-to-back seasons. Think about that for a minute. I mean, with some of the greatness that we've seen in the NFL's history with Walter Payton and Emmett and Dickerson, I mean, all these greats. And here's a guy that's just in a game that has changed to be more passing oriented. He's ripping it. It's impressive to watch. And here's the other thing. Everything we've heard about Derrick Henry, and first of all, he's from just up the road. We've heard, and we always talk to different people. We talk to the folks in Tennessee and different people in Tennessee, and different people that work with the organization, and they have said nothing but great things about him. And that's a real positive. And you hear the same kind of things about James Robinson as far as the quality of person that he is. And you got to have that quality to have a chance at being a great running back or a great player, period. Right. So and I'm not trying to draw a comparison between James Robinson and Derrick Henry. I mean, this is I think in 2 different stratospheres. Derrick is in his own world.
Yeah, he could score from anywhere on the field at any
he
time
could probably
and
even
run through 4 guys.
He could probably even hit my curved blitz ball.
I don't know if he can do that. Who can do that? Let's get serious.
Yeah,
I mean, who's really going to do that? I don't even.
You couldn't touch it. And I got a bad shoulder.
One day, now the excuses start to come out. That's just fine. We're going to be back in just a minute on the Jaguars Radio Network. Head coach Urban Meyer joins us on the Urban Meyer Show. We'll get his thoughts about last Sunday's game. The Jaguars' first win. They hadn't won in a long, long time, and it was Urban Meyer's first win as an NFL head coach. We'll get his thoughts on the field goals, his thoughts when the balls were in the air for Matthew Wright and weaving and ducking and diving and all that happened, all the close calls and everything in that game in London in last week's game, and looking ahead to the bye week as well. We'll talk a lot of offense, Trevor Lawrence's development, what the defense has done and could do better in parts, and what the bye week has in store. The Jaguars are in the building today and expected to be in tomorrow as well. That's all coming up. The Urban Meyer Show is next. Our thanks to Josh Scobee, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber. For Jeff Lageman, I'm JP Shadrick. This is Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Hard Rock Sportsbook Digital Network.
Own this thing. It's ours. Come on, let's go. Duval County and 904. Let's own this stadium. Make it ours.
Welcome to the Urban Meyer Show. Urban Meyer Show. Former Jaguar Jeff Lageman and JP Shadrick discuss the latest Jaguars news with the head coach. The Urban Meyer Show starts right now.
And welcome in. It is the Urban Meyer Show. It is the bye week. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman and head coach Urban Meyer joining us after a Jaguars victory in week number 6, 23-20. And, Coach, I'm sure things are just a little bit different after a winning result. The going back to the work in the film room and getting ready to go for the next time out is probably a little bit sweeter, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Jeff knows this. There's nothing like seeing a player's face when you get rewarded for your hard work, and I've been saying all along that this is one of the best locker rooms I've ever been around. This is a group of guys that are no resistance whatsoever. It's just got to play a little better and got to coach a little better, and we did. And it's amazing when you watch the NFL and you even watch our game, because we did a really cool team meeting today talking about the plan to win and how close and fragile games are when you start talking about inches, and that's exactly what happened in our game. And everybody talks about the play by Laviska, but when Rudy Ford stepped down and down that ball on the 2-yard line and then makes a tackle 1 yard short on 3rd and 8, that's when the game was really won. You know, it's always amazed me, especially at the highest level, is how fragile these games are.
What impressed me the most, Urban, was just the way that the game was going back and forth, and with a football team that has lost many games, they never lost confidence. They kept fighting back, and I thought the play of your quarterback at crunch time in the moments that mattered, he was at his best.
And Jeff, I always point to guys like you because you know. I mean, how many people can actually say they've been in the huddle, they've been in the locker room, they've been in winning, losing situations, and the resolve of this team is phenomenal. I mean, you look at the progress we made from day one to now, a new coaching staff, a new offensive system, new system on defense, a rookie quarterback, guys that have lost a lot of games here. I didn't say bad players, just lost a lot of games, and then all of a sudden just continue to stick together. And our young quarterback's no longer young. You know, he's how about this, Jeff? That this is, I've never seen this before, but Marvin Jones, as we said a prayer real quick afterwards and talked for a second, all of a sudden he reaches up and says, "I want to give a game ball, one of the first of many wins for our quarterback." And that's the same guy that's elected captain. That's the same guy that's has the respect of our players, not because he was a first pick overall, because he's a worker, a grinder, and he cares about his team.
Totally impressive. And I thought the thing that he did the best in the ball game was the Miami Dolphins were not afraid to bring the blitz, and probably the most amount of blitz that you guys have seen all season. And I thought Trevor handled it exceptionally. And his pocket presence and his ability to feel it and to see it without having to look at it is what makes him special, because it gives him the ability to keep his eyes where it needs to be, and that's down the field.
That was by far the most pressure we saw, and it was a lot of it was zero pressure, and it's a risk reward. You know, we got hurt a couple of times, but they also were showing mug, which means both linebackers walked up in the A gaps and then bail, and they had actually had the safety down, if you remember, and then he would go run to the deep middle, but we hit him on a big seam route to Agnew. So there was a little bit risk reward. What you did find out, which we all knew, he's a competitor. We're talking about Trevor, but he's also very pocket savvy, very pocket strong. Number one, because of his stature, he's big. He can see over a lot of stuff, but also his understanding of the game.
Have you been around a quarterback that has pocket savvy like that? Because I've never seen one here.
You know, it's still early, Jeff, but, you know, I've been blessed to be around some great quarterbacks, and not taking anything away from this from him. But I think, you know, he is very savvy. I love that word. Not just because of his stature. I want to go back to that real quick, though. I've never had a 6'6", just under 6'5", or a 6'5" quarterback that can see everything. Because a lot of times when you have a smaller quarterback, they take their eyes off it fast because all they see is the rush, and he sees downfield.
Head coach Urban Meyer with us. There were a couple of changes on the offensive line last week. Tyler Shatley made the start. Ben Barch was in there but left the game early. Will Richardson stepped in at right guard. And how'd those guys play? You mentioned the rush and all that coming. That's a lot of moving parts up front to handle it.
Yeah, the Miami defense all bases out of the bear, which is where the center's covered and both guards are covered. And they get to it a multitude of different ways, and all of a sudden you've got your captain, Brandon Linder, out, and you got Tyler Shatley making a start, who is a veteran as well, and just love the guy. We all do. And then Barch makes a start for A.J. Cann, and then he goes down. So we're down 3 offensive linemen at one point, playing a defense that's pressuring and playing bear defense. And that's a tribute. I think George Warhop is doing that's our most consistent part of our team right now is our offensive line. They're playing well. Our tackles are playing pretty well, and you know, for the most part, they're keeping our quarterback upright. I know we gave up a sack fumble, which can't happen, but for the most part, we're keeping them upright.
The one guy that I would probably add to your offensive line is your tight end Manhurts. I thought he did a great job, especially in a run game, and that's really kind of been a staple and what he's really strong at, especially in the first drive of the second half, which was great to come out and to get a score, but on a 24-yard run that James Robinson had, Manhurts gets a great double team with the tackle and then goes up and gets the linebacker, and that's what springs J-Rob.
Well, when we did the research, and you really don't have to research it, what's the best way to help a young quarterback is be able to run the football, and that's why we signed Carlos Hyde. We had James Robinson, and then we went and got one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL, and that's Manhurts, and drafted Luke Farrell. If you remember, Luke Farrell was the puller on that as well. He hit the backer. So you had Manhurts, who double teamed with Cam Robinson and they knocked the guy past the hash mark. Went up to the linebacker, and then Luke Farrell traps the second linebacker, and then James is out and gave great effort running the ball.
Yeah, you mentioned James there. Here we go. We could go every show and bring him up, obviously. 6th in the league in rushing yardage now through week 6, carrying the load last week. He had more carries in the second half than the first. The game, I think the pace of the game allowed that to happen a little more in the second half, it felt like.
It did, and, I think we're starting to be, everybody asks about what your identity is, and an identity is balanced, and we have to be balanced. I'm never been more convinced after the first 6 games, and just football in general. You're one-dimensional, they can stop you. And James Robinson I think he's actually, I know we played very well last year, but he's playing better this year because his second-level running. And I wish you guys in the offseason watch this guy, how hard he works. And his whole work effort in the offseason was about second-level running. He's really doing a heck of a job with it.
Urban, the wide receiver group, Marvin Jones Jr. clearly has a connection with Trevor Lawrence, and you can see that a lot of other guys are working to get that connection. One of the guys that just looks different when he touches the ball is Jamal Agnew, a guy that played defensive back, and you bring him in really to be a returner. I'm watching a guy that I think is electric and has a significant role coming on offense, and I'm just kind of curious, where in the world could his ceiling be?
I'm with you, Jeff. I did not. I wish I could say I expected that. We believe in special teams here. How do you believe in it? You invest in it, and we do. We're now Matt hit those field goals, but we're pretty strong in our coverage units. We still have to try to pop a punt return, but we invest in special teams. And Agnew was one of the top 4 returners in the league, we felt. And Darrell Bevel said the other reason why he's valuable is he's got a lot of play left him at receiver. He's never played receiver. They moved him to receiver at Detroit, And he's electric, he's fast, he's smart, he's multiple, he can do a lot of different things. And you can see he's tough as nails, too. So there's a very high ceiling for him. I don't think we've seen it yet.
When we return, we'll flip it around to the defensive side of the ball in last week's win over the Miami Dolphins. This is the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Chantel Chark, wife of DJ Chark. Enter for your chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience with the Jaguars. Imagine being selected as a Jaguar for the day with prizes including a behind-the-scenes tour of the stadium, a personalized Jaguars jersey, club-level tickets to a Jaguars home game, and more. Look for details at Publix, where you can pick up all your game day needs, including Tide, Bounty, and Crest. Tackle everything in one stop. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
And Jaguars Game Day broadcasts are presented by ViStar Credit Union. The Urban Meyer Show continues. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, and the Jaguars head coach, Urban Meyer, on the bye week. A couple days removed from a Jaguars victory in London at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Let's go to defense now. You know, last week there was that conversation, at least from the media perspective, about the green dot, the communication on defense. It seemed, did that settle down to you at all last week, and what were some reasons behind it, and who wore it primarily on defense?
Yeah, Damian Wilson is the Mike linebacker. Obviously, Miles Jack was out, and the Will linebacker was really by, we had more than one player. And then also the safeties involved, we did some signaling with them to get the signaling. So I thought just the organization of the game plan was good. We've turned into more zone than man now. We're going to be able to play both, but we've had some injuries at corner, obviously, with Tyson going down. Nevin came in. He's only been with us a couple weeks, get us an interception, and we just feel like we need to combine the two of man and zone and playing quite a bit more zone. So if I had to say the negative of the game was the second, the level between the linebackers and the safeties. We got to get our depth, be disciplined, not jump the underneath cuts in zone coverage. And rally up and make a play, and that's when you play great zone coverage, that's what's happened. So we had good communication. Once again, we did a good job against the run. We got a long way to go in pass defense.
One of the guys that I thought that had an excellent game, I wish he would have been able to corral Tua on that first drive, was Josh Allen, because a lot of people want to talk about the slider play, but the reality is if Josh Allen and Smoot helps out a little bit on that fourth down play, if they don't make that play, there might not be a slider play.
Well, as well as I do, they're not. They don't. And the first play you're talking about, the first series, it's a 3rd and 12, I believe. And we're off the field, and Josh gets him in his hands, Tua. But Tua is also a number 5 pick for a reason. He steps up and he makes a ridiculous throw for a first down. But the fourth down you're talking about, Josh Allen was one of our him along with Wingard, or our co-defensive players of our game, makes a play. But the interesting thing, Jeff, that you noticed was without Smoot, Josh doesn't make that play. So when you say set the point of defense, that's what we're talking about. Exactly what Dejuam Smoot did. He held the point, set an edge. Josh Allen veered from the backside, and Damian Wilson finished him off, and a great stop. Without that, there is no. It's an overtime game, or we lose.
Head coach Urban Meyer with us. The pass rush overall in the day, I feel like they were getting close a lot of the day, but only 3 quarterback hits. A lot of that was on the back end. The guys were open. He could find it open to him. But overall, the pass rush, did you see enough? Do you want to see more? You can always see more, I'm guessing. Right?
No, we're not where we need to be.
Okay.
I mean, not Josh Allen has given us. We're not getting enough inside pass rush with Roy. You know, Roy's been hurt a little bit. And he's got that big body frame that he can, cause more havoc, and he will. We've seen him do it. He's a very talented guy, and he's getting more healthy as we go. But our pass rush isn't where we need to be. Smoot had a really good game. He went after him, and what you've seen a lot of it is their balls are coming out rather quickly. So sometimes you're not getting there, and so that's an area of our team that we need to improve.
Do you try different things? I mean, because the inside seems to be that area where you need to get a little bit more production. Do you have any guys that maybe are outside that could slip down into the middle to maybe try to get some inside rush?
Well, Jihad Ward goes in there a little bit. We're talking about maybe Smoot. Roy is the guy. Roy's a very talented guy. He's been hurt for a few weeks, and he's a guy that we're having more and more conversation. That's what the bye week can be about, is just really take a deep dive. Where exactly are we? And that's an area. Rush defense, we're pretty solid. Pass defense, which is obviously a big part of its pass rush. Those are the 2 areas we got to really work on.
When you go into the bye week, a lot of times coaching staffs use the bye week as an opportunity to do self-evaluation, and the metrics and the numbers and the statistics all kind of are factored in. Is that something that you and the coaching staff will do in the bye week?
Yeah, well, 3 things. The objectives, number 1 is the health of your team. Get them back, get them healthy. A lot of guys have played a lot of football. But you also get to develop some of the younger guys. Number 2 is you said self-scout. And I always like to also look at if, red zone, 4th and short, that's something we're really working on. 3rd downs, who are the teams in the NFL or leading the NFL right now? What are they doing? How are they executing it? And can you steal something from them? Can you, how can we get better in those areas? And then the 3rd piece is a jump start on Seattle.
Urban will come back in a moment and get into the kicking game. It was huge for you last week. New kicker moving ahead as well. It's the Urban Meyer Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubby's Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer after a Jaguars victory in London in Week 6, 23-20 over the Miami Dolphins. Well, he has an aerospace engineering degree from UCF. He was working as a systems engineer associate at Lockheed Martin. Now he's hitting and banging through 50-plus yarders for you in London last week. Matthew Wright, this story is pretty remarkable, Coach.
It really is, and Nick Sorensen and Trent, our GM, Josh Lambert, who I have great respect for, is really struggling, and so they said we need to take a look, and I didn't have time to go out there and evaluate it. I asked how he did, and they had 2 or 3 kickers come in, and Matt, they talked about how consistent he was, how accurate he was, and then he's a 50 to 55 guy as far as be able to hit the ball. And they talked to Shaq Griffin, who was with him at UCF. I believe he was 4 for 4 in the NFL.
That's right.
And then he was cut. So he joins our team, and K-Levon I had dinner with him tonight. He was talking about the first time he saw him, he thought he was a ball boy at Cincinnati. And he flipped him a ball or something, and he actually realized that's our kicker. And so what a story. I mean, that's a great thing about sports. That's a great thing about opportunity if you take advantage of it, which my gosh did he. And to have him, get a game ball in the locker room after the game and see, like I said, there's a lot of great things in this game. Nothing greater than a winning locker room.
That's Log's move, by the way, is just throw the ball to the kicker. I don't know if he still does that or not, Logs. I don't know.
He does look young, but boy, Urban, he's very fortunate to have a holder like Logan Cook. Joe DeCamillis, who was a longtime special teams coordinator, had 2 different stints here with the Jaguars and very respected around the National Football League. He told me one time, he said that Logan Cook is by far the best holder I've ever seen. And so whoever you have kicking for you, I think they're very fortunate to have Logan Cook. Those are big words of praise from Joe DeCamillis. That's
right. I heard that as well. I didn't speak to the coach, but I heard that about him. And the other thing, Logan Cook he's a grown man. He's a pro's pro. He's a guy that calms a situation. He's a guy that dropped the punt on the 2-yard line. And, having a guy hold, and then also Ross, our lawn snapper. Those guys are the ultimate. I love those guys. Those guys are the ultimate pros. And then the third wheel is going to be our kicker, and he's just part of if you didn't have those 2 mature guys, it would have been even far more difficult.
Head coach Urban Meyer with us. We saw your reaction. I don't know if you went back and watched the TV tape or if you do at all after the second field goal for Wright, but the game-tying field goal from 54. It's angling right. It's 6 feet right, and it's going to be no good, no chance. And then somehow drifts back in. They shoot to an ISO of you, and your head's down. All of a sudden, you come up, can't believe it. I mean, what was your view of that kick, and did you go back and watch it afterward?
I saw not the TV copy, but I saw and there's when you freeze frame it, it's 5 feet outside the right goalpost, and he hooks it in there like a 7-iron at Sawgrass, and throws it in there, and it barely crosses the crossbar. And then had a lot of confidence in him on the last one, though. I mean, I really this is a no-brainer. If we can get this clock stopped with 1 second left, I really believe our guy was going to hit it.
Well, and part of getting that clock stopped was the slider play. Do you call it a slider play because typically when the catch is made, you go feet first, giving yourself up, then you can actually use the timeout, but you guys took a gamble because it was on 4th and 8 to where the receiver, Laviska, actually has to go head first. But, I mean, the probability of getting that play done in 5 seconds, it's not very high. But what a tremendous job that you guys did. And I wanted to commend you because you were right there next with the official on the sideline ready to use that timeout immediately, and he was right on top of it.
Yeah, that's something that in college you don't have that many situations show up. So to say that we've practiced it like we do here in the NFL, we didn't. And Darryl Bevel and Schottenheimer have been very helpful with that, as is Zach, our analytics guy, and they just do a great job with it. And we practiced those situations more than ever in my career. And the slider piece, that's exactly what you do. You're giving yourself up, and that's the only way it works. But usually it's about a 6-second scenario, especially on a 4th and 8. You know, 4th and 4, you get down quicker just because it's shorter distance. And the official, I told her exactly what we're doing. The official, and I said, as soon as that shoulder, he gives himself up, we're calling timeout. And when I saw him catch the ball and this clock stopped at 1 second, I really in my heart thought we won the game.
Yeah, Brandon Jones, the Miami Dolphins safety, goes up and touches Laviska. If he doesn't touch Laviska, maybe the second rolls off the clock. An amazing job there. And there's also 2 options, it looks like, on that play because you got the tight end, Dan Arnold, to the left, and they had a safety in the middle, and the Miami Dolphins were all playing outside leverage. They're thinking you're going to try to throw the ball out of bounds to stop the clock that way.
Well, we actually had a call before the timeout. We were going to try the Hail Mary, just try to launch it in the end zone and get up and make a play. And then that's when we changed it, when we looked up there and saw those 5 seconds left and said, if we could just get to that yard line so that he can try a 50-some yarder, we have a chance to win this thing.
All right, so were you in your head going 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, sitting there counting in your head while the play was happening?
Well, I want obviously it's fruitless if you don't catch the ball. But the minute I saw that shoulder go down and she stopped the clock, it's one of those ones I'll never forget.
It was a good one for sure. So a bye week this week, couple days of work early in the week, and then some time for the guys to get away and get their legs up and get refocused and ready to go for Seattle.
Yeah, we're going to practice. We practiced today just for the players that didn't play. I still believe in development of players, and we have Cisco's and Walker Little and Jordan Smith and some of these young players, some receivers we're still counting on to get a little better. And so we practiced just 45 minutes today. Tomorrow we'll go out. Big lift today, lower body and tomorrow's upper body, and get their bodies right and go out for practice. And then they got some time off. They're off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're back to work Monday.
Yeah, which is a big thing for players to be able to take a mental break in the midpoint of the season. Certainly helps a football team down the stretch of the end of the season.
And Jeff, we got good guys, man. I know maybe people and are tired of me saying this, but I've been around this game a long time, and I'll ride with these guys anytime, man. This is a good group.
You're Urban. You mentioned Sawgrass. How is your 7-iron these days?
I have no idea where it's at.
Okay, Coach, have a great bye week. We'll talk to you.
See you guys.
Head Coach Urban Meyer with us. It's the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yingling Traditional Lager. The beer for drinkers who know how to tap into their inner eagle and spread their wings. So prepare yourself for takeoff and let your night take flight. Liftoff. When your lips meet that cold, crisp amber lager, there's no looking back. So fly over the radar. Tonight's about the lager, and this lager is all about soaring higher. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings. DJ Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please drink responsibly.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets, undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. Our thanks to Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer joining us in the first half hour every Tuesday afternoon. Glad you're along with us. It's a pretty good week so far. After Jaguars win 23-20, you can tell the coaches, a little more, okay, they got that winning result. They're seeing a little success. There's still a lot of work to be done, of course, but at least they broke the rock, as he liked to say in the weeks previous.
I mean, when you have that many games to where you're not breaking the rock, it just becomes harder and harder every week. And especially when you start to have the things that happen during the normal course of a season, which is injuries and having to replace certain guys. But, tremendous win, and you can tell that, the attitude and the feeling is just better. Because, look, like I talked about earlier, you play the game for the joy of winning, and that's what you get paid to do. And it's no different for a coach. I mean, the coaching staff, they work incredibly long hours. And so they also need to have some joy. And so I'm happy for all of them, players, coaches, fans. It's finally it's good to finally get that feeling.
We heard last segment.
And JP,
yes,
selfishly,
yes,
it was good to call a game that was a W.
It was good to take the post-game radio call-in show after a W also, I must say. It's a little different feel. I
actually listened to you talk to the coach post-game, and
he was a little relieved, it felt like, after.
I did notice that he was able to get to you much quicker than normal.
That's okay.
So that was good.
Everybody's happy. We got a couple guys on. Matt Wright was on with us. We had Josh Allen. It's good. It's a good, positive thing.
And I listened to all of it, and it was fantastic. And you and Mike do a great job, by the way. And I enjoyed listening to you guys. And it was the kind of a euphoric feeling, being able to call that game at the very end because it's just been so long.
Long time. You mentioned with the coach a moment ago, we're talking about Matthew Wright, of course, and then Logan Cook, the holder, and everything going on. And Urban was talking a little more about Logan Cook. It just reminded me about the opening kickoff and the fan running on the field. And, he's, shaking hands with the players. They didn't show it on the television feed, but we had an alternate feed we were looking at. He's just standing there. Security's not coming out. The players are, going over to shake his hand. He got a Jaguars shirt on. And, if Logan doesn't kick the ball, he might have gone to either take the ball or kick the ball. And it seemed like Logan kind of bowed up on him a little bit. He was upset because he had just made the kickoff.
Well, he was probably concerned for his safety at first.
It's a Mississippi guy. You don't mess with the Mississippi guys.
It was so weird because what you're saying, the feed that we had, we were able to see that. In order for us to broadcast and to do our duties, because we didn't travel because of the COVID restrictions, et cetera, we didn't want to end up having an issue with that. So early on in the planning process, we said, let's just broadcast the game like we did during COVID and stay here. So we get what is a network feed. So the network feed is literally uninterrupted. The all 22, the big picture look at the stadium. So we're seeing everything. Mm-hmm. And so we have multiple TVs that, by the way, Brad and Joe and Cush and Dave or Patrick, they all did a great job setting it up. And so we had all the angles and all the monitors we needed, which is, we had the network feed, you got the truck feed, and then you got the all 22, the uninterrupted feed. And so this all uninterrupted 22 feed, all of a sudden the kickoff stops, and I'm looking on the TV.
What's going on
and
here?
And I thought at first that this was part of something that was planned. Maybe the league or
maybe it was like presenting the game ball or something.
Yeah, like he was coming out there to give him the real game ball to kick off or something. Seriously, that's what I thought was happening. And then here's the crazy thing: some of the Jaguar players start going over there and high fiving them, and
hey, bud.
and the guy's like, yeah, and then the slow reaction by the security in the stadium was almost epic. It was like, okay, is anybody going to come and do anything here?
Interesting.
And
stuff,
finally, they ease their way out there and then escort this gentleman off of the field. But we need to get Logan Cook on the show and find out what was said on the field.
Right, yeah, we might not be able to air what was said on the field,
all right.
but that's okay too.
Logan, if you're listening, call us up.
We already had earlier today.
We had Scobee call in.
Yeah, Scobee in an earlier show
so
today.
we need
in
Logan to
Jacksonville.
call in.
We had let's get all the specialists in today.
It would be fun to see kind of how that exchange went about before the game.
At least on the field there weren't any other issues, and the game moved along. Let's return in a moment and get to the quarterback and the decision process that he is making, and it seems to be week to week just becoming a little smoother for him.
Is somebody going to fall through the roof?
I don't know. There's things happening here. We're going to time out and see what's going on above us. We've got some loud noises, and this is the Urban Meyer Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
The only time I was like kind of shaking my head a little bit was the first two plays and we just were going backwards. I'm like, oh gosh, we're trying to like get in field goal range and we lose like combined 10 yards in the first two plays. Obviously that's not how you want to start, but no, I never had any doubt, especially when we got that call on that fourth down. Like it was great, third down, I think it was 3rd and 18, 3rd and 20, something like that. And we got an easy completion for 10 yards or 12 yards to put us back kind of to where we need a little bit more to get the field goal. And then we were kind of going back and forth deciding what we wanted to do. And when the call came in, I had no doubt that it was the right call, that we'd executed. And especially when I saw the look from Miami, I just knew I could fit it in that window and kind of tell Laviska where to go with the ball, throw it a little bit low so he can get down quick. And it was perfect. Got 1 second left, so it's all we needed. So it was awesome.
That's the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, today discussing the slider play, 4th and 8. They get 9 and a timeout with 1 second to play, and it set up a 3-yard field goal try from Matthew Wright that he hammered right down the middle to win it in London. And welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. We had Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer in the first half hour, watching video here on Jaguars.com of his reaction to the slider play on television. And, he's all fired up that it worked. Here we are. We got a chance to win now. Great stuff. We heard from Trevor there, just talking through the scenario. I mean, he totally gets it. Yeah, moving backwards, that's not ideal. We're like, oh, no, what's going on? But, calm the world down. Got a big play on third down to kind of get them in a point where they could even make a play like that.
Well, let me kind of take you through the play sequence here, because when the Dolphins turned it over on downs, when Josh Allen and Smoot make a great play and end up stopping the Miami Dolphins, okay, so now the Jaguars have the ball on a 1st and 10 at the Miami 46, which is great field position, and you have the false start by Manhertz. So you're backed up now to 1st and 15, and then Trevor has a gain of -1, and then he gets sacked, and so now you're looking at a third down situation, and you have a decent completion to Laviska, I think like 12 yards, and so now you're looking at a 4th and 8. And so that's the play, the slider play, which really wasn't a slider. I mean, it's called a slider play because it's designed to go feet first, but you go head first to make the play, and they get touched and they get an opportunity at it. But, I just think that the way that Trevor handles himself in moments of duress, I think, is just impressive. And I think throughout the ball game, when Miami tried to bring pressure, and the Jaguars at times had an issue with dealing with some of that pressure, I thought the quarterback handled it big time. And I thought it was by far his best performance of the season, and clearly was, because if you look at his rating, I think it was a 92 point something or other. Great job.
Yeah, great day at the office for Trevor Lawrence on Sunday in London. And they did try to heat him up a lot. I mean, the Dolphins brought pressure. They had a couple guys new on the offensive line, of course. The Jags did. Shatley, who's been around, but he hasn't played much this year. And then right guard, they actually had two different guys. Bartz was out with a concussion early in the game, so Will Richardson Jr. steps in. So why not heat it up? I mean, that was the right decision, but Trevor handled it pretty clean. Well,
and Urban was talking a couple things. He talked about the 46 defense, which the 46 defense is what Buddy Ryan made famous with the 85 Bears. That's kind of, if you wanted to kind of have a comparison, that's where you put a guy head up on the center, and then you got each guy in a 3-gap, 2 defensive tackles, which would have been McMichael, and I'm trying to think of who the other 3 technique would have been for the Chicago Bears. But anyway, and then he talked.
I won't tell you how old I was in 1985.
You weren't even probably born.
I was born.
But then he also talked about the Miami Dolphins were showing a mug blitz.
Yes.
Okay, a mug blitz, for those that don't really know, it's a double A-gap blitz threat, or the linebackers are walked up into the gap. And what it does, it forces you to account for them whether they come or not. Because since they're right there, you have to assign somebody to block them.
Just if they come, here they are.
And so when the Miami has, for example, when Miami does this and the linebackers are walked up into the gaps and they've got 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, you only have 5 offensive linemen and a running back, right?
Yep.
So there's somebody that's going to get turned loose. And the other thing that happens is that now you have, let's say, a guard blocking one of those linebackers, and the tackle now has to block the defensive tackle. Then the tight end now has to block the defensive end, which is a mismatch, which that happened in the game to where you had, I think it was Agba being blocked by Dan Arnold. That's a mismatch. But they got that matchup because they had that mug blitz. And so it can be effective, and at times, as Urban said, it's risk-reward. You know, you can end up having a great opportunity at something down the field if you can block it up and give your quarterback time. But Trevor, I thought, handled the pressure throughout the entire game exceptionally well as far as releasing the ball quickly and also buying time in the pocket and then out of the pocket.
When we return, we'll flip it around to defense. They got some pressure, not a lot of coverage. They had some issues on the back end, some big plays, especially from the tight ends. Logs, we're going to get some answers out of you.
Well, I don't know if I can give you great answers that you want to hear, but I'll give you the answer.
Well, that's when we come back. This is the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars fans, Corona Extra is giving you the chance to win big. Be one of 3 winners to receive a VIP game day experience complete with limo transportation, a Jacksonville staycation, and tickets to the Jaguars home game Sunday, November 28th. Enter for your chance to win at jaguars.com/corona. Must be 21 years of age or older. See full rules for details. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
We're back. It's the Urban Meyer Show. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, and head coach Urban Meyer with us in the first half hour, 5 o'clock every Tuesday on the Jaguars Radio Network. Glad you're along with us today. After a Jaguars win, 23-20. Let's do this more often, Logs, after a win.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Nice.
I'm all for it.
Defense had some positive things. They also had a lot of negative moments in the game. Let's start with the positive because that's what we're doing today. In the final 2 possessions for Miami, they got off the field. Got a 3-and-out when they needed it, set up the 54-yard field goal to tie the game. And then, really almost inexplicably, Brian Flores decided to go for it on that 4th and 1 from his own 46 instead of punt it away and make the Jags drive the entire field. Well, the Jags defense stood up to the task. I mean, it's less than a yard. It is about a half a yard, if that. And Josh Allen crashes down and makes the play in the backfield.
Yeah, it was really 2 surprising coaching decisions in that game. The Jaguars to choose to go for it at the Miami Dolphins, 9-yard line.
Yeah.
And then Brian Flores' decision to go for it where he was at the 46. I mean, that's just
I mean, if he gets it, it's, then they have a chance to win in themselves.
Yeah, they have a chance.
Yeah.
But you also give your opponent a great chance to win the game. And that was, first of all, the Miami Dolphins defense, I thought, did a really good job initially. And I thought that I was like, oh, man, they are really rising to the occasion for their coach's decision that I thought was pretty poor. And but then Trevor Lawrence was able to make a couple plays, and it was a great job and a great job coaching. So, give credit where credit is due. I thought the way that the Jaguars coaching staff handled that situation, the way that they were able to help execute that, in football and winning, the difference between winning and losing so many different times is just a matter of preparation and situational football. And you always hear that term, situational football, but are you prepared to execute in certain critical situations of a game? And this team, this organization was ready to do that at that critical moment. And were they or would they have been able to do that if Brian Flores doesn't use that timeout? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I understand why he used that timeout. He used that timeout to communicate to his defense on what appeared to be a Hail Mary attempt to make sure that they were going to line up right and get everything covered right. And then that's when the Jaguars decided to change course and to do the slider play and give their kicker an opportunity, and it was a great decision and a great job by them. So kudos to them, and definitely there's a little bit of regret probably on both sides. And the Jaguars have had, I think, a couple decisions this year on fourth down opportunities, and I'd love to know what the analytics say as far as them going for it. For example, like in Cincinnati, you had 4th and goal at the 1 before the half.
Yeah.
You end up not getting any points out of it. Mm-hmm. What do the analytics say about that situation there to where you had the ball at the 9? Do you go for it? It's just because a lot of times in the NFL and coaching in today's game, a lot of that decision-making is influenced by analytics now. And the analytics will tell you to go for it in a lot of those situations. But analytics doesn't take into account, JP, momentum and human feeling.
That's right. And you better have the analytics figured out before the situation comes up and have it prepared and ready to go, because you can't, let's wait and call another timeout to figure out the analytics of this play.
That's right.
The game action, the game flow happens. You better have all that pre-planned and ready if this scenario comes up and it's 4th and 5 or whatever, at this yard line going in, do we go or not? You better have that done during the week.
Yeah,
because you're not going to be calling upstairs, hey, guys, what's the do some algebra real quick for us.
No, they have coaches have essentially, it's like an analytics sheet, and it tells you what to do based upon the score, the situation, and everything else.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if they have like multiple sheets that tell them that, or if they have somebody that's upstairs saying, hey, Urban, here's what the analytics say. Mm-hmm. And I would not be surprised if they do have somebody that's up in the booth that is dedicated to making sure that information is passed on.
The Jaguars defense allowed 431 yards to the Dolphins offense in the game, but once they got down in the red zone, Dolphins were only 2 of 4 in red zone conversions, and that seems to have been the case a lot of the year. Jaguars defensively this year, Logs, are 29th overall in total defense, but they're middle of the pack in red zone defense in the NFL. A bend, don't break kind of deal. If you can get them down to field goals, you can stay in some of these games.
Well, and Rayshawn Jenkins actually has what he calls his top 3 goals of the defense, and I don't know if you saw this a couple weeks ago, and he's very accurate about it. I mean, I think this is reasonable for this defense. And number 1, he says, is to have the energy every game. Number 2 is to hold the opponent to field goals, and 3 is takeaways.
Yeah.
And so the field goal thing is what you're talking about, red zone. The takeaways, they got 1 against the Miami Dolphins, but they still will be at the bottom of the league as far as takeaways go. And that one was a little bit of a gift from Tua. I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to accomplish with that throw, but nonetheless, you still got it. So that was good, but they definitely have some work to do as a defense. And in the back end, one of the reasons why you hear Urban talking about how they're playing more zone now, one of the main reasons why is that you play zone when you don't have the top dogs in the back end. If you had a bunch of great cover corners, then you would play more man.
Just let them run around, yeah.
And
sure.
right now you just don't have that. And a lot of people say, well, why would you trade away C.J. Henderson if you don't have the guys? Well, the reality is that C.J. was not producing at the level that this team needed, and I don't even think he was all in with this organization.
Yeah, so that's water under the bridge now. He's gone.
Well,
so.
and it's not necessarily water under the bridge, because the one thing that you're getting out of that is that you're getting, I think, much better production out of the player that you acquired in Dan Arnold, and his production can even be better. But you have a legitimate threat in the passing game now at the tight end position going forward.
We'll take our final timeout. When we come back, our final thoughts going into the bye week. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. This is the Urban Meyer Show on Jaguars Radio.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field and Valley Park it for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent, sponsored by Alert Today Florida, near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, alive tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Are you a Jags and a pet fanatic? Then enter for a chance to win your very own customized jersey and answer game day trivia live on the TIAA Bank Field video boards at an upcoming Jaguars home game and our Pet Fanatic of the Game sweepstakes presented by Pet Paradise. To enter, scan the QR code on the Sky Patio or go to jaguars.com/fanatic. Terms and conditions apply. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia.
Scrubbing soon to a location near you. You know and love the Scrubble Stars at the Town Center, Fleming Island, and Atlantic Beach. Now get ready for 4 new locations scrubbing soon this year, featuring Kernan, San Jose, Racetrack Road, and Oakleaf. Give your car the glitz and glam it deserves at the best car wash in town with free car prep, vacuums, window cleaner, and more. You can also catch us at every Jags home game and cool down at the Scrubby's Misting Arch. Drive in to see us now and in the future at our Scrubbing Soon locations. Scrubbles, trust the bow tie. You'll know quality once you arrive.
Welcome back. The Urban Meyer Show continues along the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Urban Meyer Show. Rolling along, final moments of the program on this Tuesday afternoon. It's the bye week. Week 7 in the NFL begins on Thursday night. I was looking on Twitter in a couple of breaks ago and kind of looking ahead, and Von Miller, I don't know why this popped in my head. Von Miller for the Denver Broncos. Fantastic outside linebacker, pass rusher. it's a banged-up Cleveland team they're playing on Thursday Night Football. He was asked by a reporter what he thought about the matchup. He said, well, I'm not sure who the tackle is I'm going against, but I'm going to kill him. That was his quote. That's a Von Miller quote.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. That's Thursday night, but the Jags are off this week. The bye week is here. The practice schedule still remains. I mean, they were here today. Team had off yesterday after the travel back from London. In today and again tomorrow, but very light work just to kind of keep them moving, get some of that rejuve going, right?
Well, and as Urban said, to get everybody healthy, and then also I think for the players, just to take a mental break. Sometimes that can kind of get you refreshed and back focused again and ready to go back to work. Because it's a grind now.
That's 11 weeks in a row coming up.
Well, you got 11 weeks in a row coming up, but think about, this started in July.
Yep.
And then you had 3 preseason games, and then obviously the games that you've played in the regular season already. That's a lot. And you haven't really had any time away to take a break. And so I know that a lot of the players will be looking very forward to that.
The way Trevor put it today, we have a whole college season ahead of us after this week. It's 11. It's a long for guys who've not been through it before.
That he speaks the truth. I can tell you, my first year in the NFL, and I remember it very well. And I just said to myself when I got about halfway through, and I was going, we still got a long way to go.
Well, Logs, rest those legs.
I'm going to rest everything.
We'll see you in next week sometime.
Maybe.
That's Jeff Lageman.
Where we go next week? Seattle.
To Seattle.
Geno Smith-led Seahawks. Beatable. Write it down.
Oh, okay.
They're beatable.
Is it a lock?
I'm not locking.
Okay, that's Jeff Lageman, Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber, our entire crew. I'm JP Shadrick. It's the Urban Meyer Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.